Good evening and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Legend Knows Football TV. The second match of Group B has just ended after the earlier game, which saw Angola and Zimbabwe draw 1-1. The second match was actually the decider on who's going to be top of the table between Egypt and South Africa. And Egypt won it narrowly 1-0. Guys, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Welcome to your AFCON review, AFCON match review between Egypt and South Africa. So what started off as a cagey affair, teams just testing each other out, trying to figure out who's going to play what style of football, getting into the groove of the game. The game actually started off boring, if I should be honest. No attacking prowess compared to the Angola Zimbabwe game. This game was a little bit more tactically balanced, and guys were playing the teams were playing a little bit more safe. But fast forward in the first half, we had a few half chances here and there, but in at the end of the day, we saw Egypt scoring from the penalty spot. Controversial penalty, in my opinion, because of the fact that when you do a running motion and you you try and get some momentum, I agree to a certain degree that you don't have to lift your hand as high as the South African defender did. But in a nutshell, he did it, and Egypt got the penalty. What was the saving grace for South Africa? A positive was that Egypt actually got a red card just when the first half ended. So, meaning second half, Egypt was going to play with 10 men and South Africa having 11 men on the pitch. But at the end of the day, South Africa tried their best. They tried their best to make and create some chances. Lyle Foster and the players that also came onto the pitch. Um, who's that? Umbule, Mafukeng, Makopa, and Mukwana. All those guys coming onto the pitch with Foster being up front, but to no avail. Egypt hang on at the last minute. There, until the last minute. There was even a shout of a penalty for South Africa at the very end of the game. But to no avail. VAR ruling that it's not a penalty, it wasn't a handball that the Egyptian defender committed by sliding in and the ball hitting his hand. Maybe it was a normal movement of his hand sliding to protect the ball. But this game just made things so much more interesting in Group B. Let's look at the group, guys. This is the group as it stands in Group B. We see Egypt 6 points, South Africa 3 points, Zimbabwe 1, and Angola 1. So far, we can only say that Egypt is basically guaranteed heading into the next round, with South Africa must win game when they play Zimbabwe on the 29th of December, and Angola faces Egypt. A tough ask for Angola, but I think this game took a lot from Egypt in terms of defending with 10 men. You need to work extra hard when you are down to 10 men. So that might also have an effect on Egypt. But I think the 6 points is more than enough, because Zimbabwe, the only team that can get 6 points right now is South Africa. The rest of the group cannot get 6 points, meaning that Egypt is basically they are already through. We can say Egypt is already through. So now it's just between these three teams. If Zimbabwe can beat South Africa convincingly, and Egypt beats Angola, which is most likely to happen, sorry, I have a win, man. It means that Zimbabwe can go through in the group. Zimbabwe can actually go through on 4 points, with South Africa ending third. At the end of the day, Angola will finish last. So this group has just gotten a little bit more interesting in terms of South Africa moving into the next round. But today's match was a little bit a cagey affair, and South Africa can only blame themselves for just creating half chances when they faced a 10-man Egypt side. They could have done more. They should have done more. I feel like they didn't. They took long shots and half chances created, not penetrating the box as they should, moving the ball a little bit more faster and being clinical with the half chances that they got. So, in a nutshell, Egypt fully deserved. They stayed disciplined, they stayed compact, and that's how they beat South Africa today. So, we look forward to the next round. So, guys, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. That has been your review. See you in the next upload. Cheers, stay safe, and God bless.